Hi everybody, Candace here with Greener Farms DIY, and today I'm going to take you through the set that we have for the month of April. And what it is it's just a whole bunch of different patterns that all come together to make a really cute table runner. And I'm showing you right now what the February one looks like. They're very themey, and you would just cut up all of your bias, your binding, and all of that to put together and make a cute little table runner. And so what I went ahead and did is I stitched out the February one, and I'm going to go put all of my blocks together. And the way I did the March one is I just did a basic log cabin all the way around. And so I'm going to go ahead and take you guys through making the month of April. All right, so the first thing you want to do is figure out what your colors are going to be. I'm going to go with more pastel colors because this is, you know, the month that has Easter in it. So I want to have something very soft. Alright, so now this is finished stitching out. You just want to go ahead and trim any of your jumps that you have in here. Some machines trim the jumps, some don't trim the jumps. I went ahead and turned my jump stitch trimmer off so that way I could get through this design much quicker. When it does all the tie-offs to make the letters really clean, if you have it set to tie off every letter or set to tie off after a certain distance jump, it can take a very long time to stitch a design like this out. So I went ahead and just turned that feature off so that way I can move through the design really quick, and it took me maybe 30 seconds to snip all my little threads when I was done. Much quicker than it taking 57 minutes to stitch out. When I turned off my jump stitch trimmer, it actually turned this design from 57 minutes into 25 minutes. So that's kind of some of the efficiency that you lose with that trimmer when you're trimming it. All right, we're going to move on to the next piece of our design in this, and that's the applique piece. All right, so with this one, as you can see, we're going to be stitching L-O-V-E, and the bunny is the O. So this is an applique, so we're going to do the L, V, and E with fabric on the inside of the satin, which is the traditional applique, and we're going to do the same thing with the bunny. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply lay the fabric down. Now, if I wanted the bunny to be in the exact same color fabric, I would just reserve a little bit of this for when I go to do the bunny, but I am going to put the bunny in a different color. Alright, so now it's finished and I have the little letters stitched out on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through with my scissors, and I'm just going to very carefully snip all the way around the letter with my scissors. And you want to make sure you're working on a nice flat surface as you're going all the way around. The reason why is you don't want to pull anything out of the hoop as you're starting to trim all the way around your design. All right, so it's all trimmed out, and notice it's the satin will be catching most of this, but you want to make sure there's no big pieces of fabric hanging off. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back in the arms. Just like that. I'm going to lower this down a little bit just so you can see into the stitching area. All right, so we're all done with that. So now we're going to move on to doing the bunny part. This is just going to stitch the outline for us to put our fabric on the inside. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and put just some scrap fabric down. And let that stitch out. All right, so that is now done. So we're just going to go ahead and trim right around that bunny. All right, so you want to move it back onto the embroidery machine and then let it do its final satin stitch, and then you're all done with this design. All right, so we're all done. So now we completed the wordle, which is this cute little word saying, and there is one for every single month. Cute little different wordle sayings. And then we completed the applique love as well. And I'm going to continue to go through all the designs in the April pack and stitch those out. And then we'll bring them together at the end, and I'll show you how to put the table runner together. All right, once we get right here, what we want to do is we want to start building our bunny. And so I'm just going to cut a little piece of fabric out that's going to cover my bunny ear and that bunny nose, just like that. And then I'm going to use this little darker fabric to go right over the line, just like that, because I'm going to be pulling this fabric down and building my steps as I go. I'm going to work down and out. Everybody works a little bit differently through this design, but this is just how I like to do it. so now I'm gonna pull this one down, take it out, and finger press it, just like that. So I'm gonna finger press. Put back in. I should have ironed my fabric before I started. Alright, and now I'm going to be sticking my fabric right over the line again. And all we're doing is we're building like what I call a faux quilted piece, a faux pieced piece. And you can use all different color fabrics that you want. All right, we are almost done with the bunny, as you can tell. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna finger press it down, and you see all these nice cute little pleats that are going all the way around. We're just going to allow the final outline to go all the way around. Now if you have a tiny little iron, you're able to hit it with a little iron. That makes it even neater, you know, to get those creases down. But I really like the look of something kind of pieced, even if it was pieced in the hoop. So if you want it a little bit tighter, you can just tape your pieces down. If you're working in a 4x4 hoop, it doesn't give you much room, but you can still get it down there if you use some tape. And so see, that's the way that you would do it with tape. All right, we're gonna go ahead and let that final outline stitch. This is gonna bring all of your layers together all the way around. All right, so I went ahead and I trimmed all the way around the bunny. Got all of my little pieces out. I'm using these cute little needle nose applique scissors. And that bunny is just adorable. I mean, and it's all pieced looking, and it's just really cute. I really like it. Now we let the satin stitch out. All right, so we are all done stitching this pretty little Easter bunny that I like to call my little quilted Easter bunny. It has all these cute little tucks in it that makes it look like you actually did this on a sewing machine before you put your satin around. So I just like the cuteness of it behind that. And I went ahead and kept with my light peachy color, so that way it's going to match the rest of my blocks as I go forward. Now on to the next block. All right, for this block, we're going to go ahead and make these cute little balloons. Now, for time's sake, I'm going to just stitch them all with the same satin color, but you can make the outside satin on the balloons 3 different colors if you choose. All right, so we're going to go ahead and stitch out this next block. It's basically going to look like this. This is one of the cute little towels that I made, and this is going to go with the table runner set. And so when you stitch this out, you can buy the towel set designs. They come with this beautiful knockdown to pull that pile down. It does not come with Made in Acme on it. It's just the actual design, but it is a really fun, cute design. It has a little bit extra wording on it than what you're going to see on this next block. So now let's go ahead and stitch out the block. All right, so we completed all of our blocks. So we had the balloons, we had the cute little pieced together bunny, we had the love with the bunny. I love the Wordle. So we had the Wordle, and then we had this cute little fresh eggs saying. So now we're ready to go ahead and trim it out. And so the way we're going to do that is we're going to cut some straight strips of fabric. Let me get that turned off. And we're just going to be attaching it kind of log style cabin, you know, the quilting technique. And we're just going to be piecing it as we go around, kind of building it out a little bit wider in each direction, and then attaching them all together, and then finishing it off with some binding.